So guys, your movie already premiered at the Brooklyn Film Festival. I would like to know if you had the chance to see the audience reaction, to interact with them.
Yeah. Everyone, it was kind of super surreal, really. Like, everyone was clapping and super, I think, I had a few people come up to me crying. People were like really just blown away by Hopper and the story. I mean, I think it really touched a lot of people's hearts. A lot of people could connect to a lot of the different themes that were going on in the film.
Yeah, I mean, I think she said it perfectly. It was just very surreal. I mean, especially for me, like I've done a few movies before, and I mean, I wouldn't expect anything from it because I'm like, oh, that's not good. But this one was, and I think it got pretty good attention, and I think in Brooklyn the audience really loved it. And also, I mean, she won Best Actress, so that's why she got that.
Of course, this movie is about the sacrifice we made for the one we love.
Yes.
And do you think this is the reason why this movie is so relatable?
Yes, I think so. I think we live in a world right now, especially there's a lot of desperation. There's, people are really hurting right now, and there are tons of families that make sacrifices every day for that are uncomfortable, so that their loved ones can have a better life. The drug epidemic, especially in America, is just really intense. There's a lot of our country has a lot of addiction issues, and there's so many families that are affected by the all the things that come along with addiction, and it's really painful to watch the ones you love crumble, and I think that theme really a lot of people could connect with, sadly, and also young love. We have like a really sweet little love story, and everyone loves a good love story. I know I do.
And how it's been to interact as actors for you too? Because of course you use sign language, and I think it's going to be really challenging for you as an actress, but also for you to interact with someone that can only use her face expression and her hands.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna let her kind of take this one, but I can say, I mean, here's two things. One is like when you're working with somebody that just knows how to act, whether she had done it before or not, she knows what she's doing, and that made me feel really comfortable, which made it easier. But I mean, her character is incredibly hard, and it's all emotion, which is difficult to show, even as just without acting. But on camera, it's even 3 times harder, I think. But for me, it was like a lot of my stuff was emotion just from what she said, and that was all real because it was so easily real. Because she's so good, but then that aspect of her being deaf, and I feel like for me, like knowing as her character that she wasn't always deaf, that she remembers things and misses things, which is so heartbreaking. But it just, for me, it felt real. Where like the connection was like, okay, she likes Frankie for Frankie, fully like the heart. It obviously doesn't like want him to be selling drugs or beating the shit out of people or whatever he does, but like who Frankie actually is in the story is like who she fell in love with, and I feel like it was told so well through like silence in sign language. But I'm gonna let her take this because I go on about not a question usually.
I mean, it was really challenging, let me tell you, to learn sign language during a global pandemic in the heat. I had 2 weeks really to learn sign language with I didn't get to meet with a real tutor until we were there on set. So prepping for the film, you know, you can't just memorize lines. It's all, you know, hand movements, and it's like dance. It's like a choreography, which is why I loved playing Jane too, because I'm a dancer. So it was like a different sort of body language. I got to use my body as an instrument, which is what I think every actor, performer thrives off of, that like having your person be the tool that you make your art with. Being Jane, having you know, lost my hearing as a young girl, as like Hopper was saying, there's like, you know, this intense nostalgia that she feels, and she's very strong because, you know, like anyone who experiences loss of anything that they care about, you know, that's a traumatic thing that happens. And so I think she really appreciates the little things, and she really pays attention to details, and she fell in love with Frankie for who Frankie was, not even being able to hear his voice, but just like, you know, paying attention to his body language, and like being like, it's more like about reading someone's energy, which is also, you know, what an actor has to do. So like Jane, in a way, is like using the same tools that an actor has to use, like trying to read another actor's, like, you know, we have to pay attention to the like our partner's like body language when we act, like we have to react. And I think she's kind of an actress in her own right without, you know, being an actress. I'm sorry, will you ask the question again, because I feel like maybe I'm like going off the rails.
I think you yeah. Okay. Yeah. And my last question is for you, Hopper. How has been to portray such a tough family dynamic?
That's me. Joking. Sorry.
With your
I don't know if you finished.
No, with your sister. I mean, I think that isn't like that in the
that's-
real life.
That's pretty similar. Stuff with my sister, Dylan's my best friend. And not like, oh, because she's my sister. We go out and we have fun constantly. But then again, she is my sister, so I want to rip her head off 50% of the time too. As she does with me. It's not like, this is not like too crazy, but like it's like brother, sister, like we hate each other and we love each other, and that was very similar. But I thought you were talking about like the lifestyle of Frankie. It's not my lifestyle. I've had bad history with things, but I grew up in a very safe neighborhood. But Clarence, as being like a great director and like very unsafe person for me, I was like, put me in the place where my character would live in Philly. So he put me in North Philly. And
You live there.
Yeah, so first night I stayed there, I went to go get cigarettes down the street, and I had this app, Citizen, on my phone, and told me that a person on my block got shot 3 times. So I went down, and sure enough, there he was with like 3 gunshots, and we had to like wait for the ambulance to come, and I was just like, well, this is fucking crazy. This is my first night, and then like 4th night there, I was like, I put my trash on the wrong side of the street, so I got a gun pointed at my face from my neighbor.
It's very.
I was like, oh, I'm sorry, dude. Like, it's really easy to just say other side of the street instead of other side. You know, it's like, come on.
Wow.
But it put me in that way where it was like very comfortable.
Thank you so much for your time, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.